Satnam, and welcome to part 2 of the Moon Centers. Such great things, and I'm hoping that you actually worked with the first few and that you actually got your chart and your person and you're starting to chart them already, because that's really important. And we're going to get to start with a really great one I love, because it's so about who we are as women, right? Our cheeks. We're always doing stuff with our cheeks, you know, putting things on them to make them look better, you know. We love our cheeks. They're beautiful. You know, we love great skin that's stretched over them. And your cheeks are your PR. So when you're in this center, the gift of this center is that you can publicize, you can promote anything. So you want to think about what in your life right now would love promotion. Or how can you use this at work, you know, to promote things at work? Look at those 2.5 days and go, oh my God, I am a PR machine on those days. I can promote anything. Think of your partner, your husband, whatever, your children. What do they need promoted? You know, if it could be anything from, you know, having a new idea about how they can, you know, do a fundraising drive for the school, or, you know, what new way you could, you know, promote who knows what. But instead of like selling magazines and candy and stuff at school, that they could actually be selling something that was like really wonderful for people, environmentally, you know, uplifting. What about if you know, had events at the school that, you know, silent auctions where people could do only healing products. You know, you could have a whole healing product event, which would be, you know, chiropractic appointments, or, you know, doctor's appointments, massages and oils and, you know, candles, beautiful and wonderfully healing things. So you can use your PR for any way that you want, but just know that that's the gift of this. It's like, whew, I see this and I can, you know, promote it. I watched when we were in London, we were out to dinner, and this one girl looked at this brochure that this woman had done for this event that she was doing, and she's an event planner, and she was doing this fundraiser for UNICEF for children in Africa. And this girl looked at this and she said, this is good, except what you need to do is move this down, and you need to move this up, and you need to have this more bold, this needs to be bigger. She just went through that brochure, just like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. What does she do? She does theta healing, but obviously she was in her cheeks, because she was so right on with everything that she said, was just completely right on, and the woman was so glad. She goes, thank you, I can do all those things, you know, I can change this and make that better. So realize that you are that you, cheeks, fabulous, you know, PR. Okay. In the challenged aspect of this, you are not, PR requires that you have to be very focused. You're looking at one thing and you're taking it and you're getting new ideas on how to do something with it, right? A lot of people don't like advertisements, but I think advertisements sometimes are some of the best creativity around. You look at them and you're like, that was really creative. That sucked. You know, you can look at things and go, oh my God, this is amazing. You ever seen a billboard and all of a sudden you're like, that is such a great phrase. It stays with you, you know, forever. You know, the whole Nike thing, right? About basically you can do it. Obama's campaign, yes we can. 3 words, right? But it gives you that, it gave the feeling of hope to a nation that felt hopeless. We need a new mantra now, but that's what the PR thing is like, okay, so when you're not in that very projective, you know, seeing the creativity and how to, you know, channel the creativity of everything, you just want everybody to feed back to you. So that's what flirting really is like, if I'm fabulous enough, if I look beautiful enough, if I sound, you know, that like I know what I'm talking about this, if I engage this person, if I make them feel good enough about themselves, they will make me feel good about me. Because ultimately flirting means I want you to tell me that I'm beautiful, that I'm humorous, that I'm vast, that I'm whatever it is. I want that from you because I'm not giving it to me, right? I'm not feeding that part of me that needs that. And the neutral aspect of this is so great because you take PR to a whole another realm, right? You take PR to your being and you become that walking advertisement. You become radiant and beautiful, which all cosmetics are now trying to do, is to create the radiance in the cosmetics so that you become that. You look radiant, you know, whether you feel like that or you have that internal light or not. Okay. We're going to talk about radiant foods for women, all right? We're going to talk about foods that make you feel, you know, beautiful and wonderful. It's so interesting. You can't feed yourself crap and be beautiful and radiant because it wears you down. When we eat junk, our systems start becoming junk, and no matter how good you are at putting on makeup, it's going to show through. The junk factor shows through. I will tell you, eating alkaline foods may sound like the most boring thing in the world, but it's so exciting because you feel good. You feel really fabulous. You feel good after you eat. You feel good while you're eating. You don't have to kill anything to eat it. You just get to eat what's alive and radiant and possible. And people say to me, well, what do you eat? You know, as if you don't eat dairy and meat and alcohol, you're going to, you know, perish from the earth. You eat almost everything else, and it's wonderful. Beans and legumes and nuts and greens and live and vital and so many great grains. Quinoa, millet, you know, amaranth, just wonderful grains. They taste good and you can put them in anything. Mix the grains in the salad together. Okay, so radiant foods, so things that are going to really make you radiant. It's different things for different times of the month for women. Okay, eggplant, like before your period, like a week before your period, eat a lot of eggplant. All right, why? Because it's like your uterus. All right, and what happens is when you take the egg, if you bake the whole eggplant, just put, you know, holes in it, bake it. When you take it out and it's really baked, all of the insides come out, and you can make baba ganoush with it. You can do all sorts of wonderful things with it. Tastes good. You can add it to soups and stews, and it's just a great food at that time of the month for you. Okay. It's also really important to know that there's different times to eat different things. On your cycle, a really good thing for you to eat is take ginger, slice ginger really thinly, and saute some ginger. And then take almonds with the skins on and saute the almonds with the ginger. And then at the very, very end, take it off the skillet and pour some raw honey over it and let it become almost like, it's almost like almond brittle with ginger in it. It tastes delicious. It is so good for you, and you're getting, the ginger helps with, so that you know, it helps with cramps, so that you don't have cramps. It helps your digestion, which tends to go off sometimes when you're having your cycle because there's so much energy doing something else that your digestive system just doesn't have what it usually does. And the almonds help with the mineral balance, which tends to go a little wonky on your cycle. And honey is just to bind it, and also honey has magical powers. They're now saying that honey is a natural antibiotic for dogs. Well, if it's a natural antibiotic for dogs, why is it not a natural antibiotic for us? I know it's a natural antibacterial because nothing lives in honey. You can't, bacteria just doesn't, it just dies in honey. So you've got all of those aspects happening together, and it nourishes you deeply, and you're not as hungry because on your cycle you want to eat really lightly. It's very true. You don't want to eat heavy foods that will make you really crazy. So when you're in your cheeks, okay, it's that beautiful PR thing, and it's the capacity to know that you don't want to be flirty with your food either. You don't want to just like eat little bits of this and this and this and this and this, thinking it's all going to help. So radiant, a couple more radiant foods, things that women need. Fruits that are really fabulous for women are pea fruits, okay, plums, pomegranates, peaches, persimmons, pears, okay. Also cantaloupe is really good. When you think of, like, look at the color of cantaloupe. It's not as high in sugar as watermelon, but it's got that really just beautiful orange glow to it. I grew a couple in my garden this summer, and animals got one of them, and I got the other one. And it was little, it wasn't even that big, but oh my God, was it good. It was one of the best cantaloupes I've ever eaten. And not just because it was out of my garden, but because picking something out of your garden and eating it, it's like, oh, it's got such nourishing qualities to it. So if you love to garden, do it. It can be one of your passions. And if you grow the foods that you need to eat, greens, as much greens as you possibly can, and go, well, I don't like these, I don't like these, I don't like. Find new greens. There's so many kinds of greens that you can eat. I'll tell you a recipe for something that's really lovely that I love to make. Super simple. It's a pesto, but it's a different kind of pesto. I make a cilantro parsley pesto and do the same thing. I put lemon and garlic and olive oil and salt and pepper and lots of parsley and lots of cilantro. Blend it all together. It is so delicious, and you can eat it, you know, like you would pesto on top of, you know, anything. You can put it on top of pasta if you want, but you can also eat it with crackers, and you can also just, you know, you can use it as a dip. It's a fabulous dip, and it's so nourishing. And if you really want it to be super nourishing, put in a half an avocado, and it's like you can use it as a salad dressing. It's great. All right, but it makes you bright and alive because of all of those greens and minerals in it. All right, now what can you do to up your PR and your capacity to be radiant when you don't feel very radiant, right? So you have to look at, like, what have you been putting in the body? Just think of this. What would happen if you let your car get on red light all the time and almost always ran out of gas? And you would go to the cheapest gas station that there is, and you never got an oil change, and your car would be like belching and freaking out at you, right? But we do that to ourselves. We let ourselves get so low on the energy totem, and then we fill it with, like, I'm not going to say what we fill it with, but you know the Doritos and the Twinkies and the sweets and the salts and the fried foods and all that kind of stuff. And then you wonder, like, really? Why do I feel so hideous? There's a reason. You know, what you put in the tank is how you're going to feel. All right, so you've got this fabulous, wonderful foods that you're eating. Now, what can you do? What kind of exercise can you do that will actually be good for you? All right. You want some really serious radiance? Move. Do yoga. Do a yoga class. Do one of my, tapes. Get one of my tapes. They're really great. Yogi Bhajan told me to do them, and they're really quite amazing. Rollerblade. Run. Do something where you really get yourself moving so that when you come back, you have sweated. Women need to sweat every day. You want your brow to perspire, not just for your hairline, but for your body. Because this big organ is your biggest organ in your body, your skin, and it's your biggest detoxifying organ. Go out there and move until you sweat. Rowing, swimming, whatever you love, do it. Play tennis, I don't care what you do. Belly dancing, ballroom dancing, it doesn't make any difference, but move. And move for a period of time, at least 40 minutes, so that you really get moved. And you'll come back, and you'll glow. And that's what you want. Your radiance is really important, because when you feel radiant, when you experience your own internal radiance, your neutral mind allows you, supports you in being that radiant field for everyone else in your life. You can be that radiance. When you don't take the time to do this, and as women, you need to exercise every day. This isn't like, when I hear people say, oh yeah, twice a week. Twice a week? How often do you go to the bathroom? How often do you eat? We find time to do everything else, but you can't exercise but twice a week? Seriously. Come on. Find something that you can do. You know what I do? I rollerblade hills around my house because I don't have to go anywhere to do it. All I have to do is go out, put on my rollerblades, 40 minutes, I've got 40 minutes of exercise, as opposed to you drive somewhere and then you have, 40 minutes there and then you drive back and it's like 3 hours and you're like, I don't have 3 hours. Okay? But if you have a DVD or you have a computer, all you have to do is put in a yoga, DVD and do it with it. Even if you don't make it through the whole thing, do at least 40 minutes. And pick one that's really, vibrant and makes you move. All right? That will give you back that radiance that you need so you can be in the neutral aspect of these beautiful things called your cheeks. The moon center in your cheeks wants you to be radiant. That's what it's going for. So everything that you can do to create that radiance. And what kind of teas are you drinking? Look at what you drink. Do you drink a lot of soda? Do you drink, soda will kill you, just so that you know. The first thing that you want to get out of your diet is soda. It's like, I could tell you a horror story about soda. I'm going to tell you a horror story about soda because it's really important. This woman went to the doctor and she, they couldn't find anything wrong with her, but she was getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And her sister watched something on PBS and it was talking about the disastrous effects of all of the things that are in soda, the chemicals, the nitrogen, all of these things. And that, if a lot of people would stop just drinking sodas, they would actually find so much better health. Just that one thing if they did. Forget the exercise, forget the good food. I don't really want you to forget it, but I'm just saying, take all of those things out of the equation. Just stop drinking soda. So her sister had decided that they gave her 3 months to live, the doctors. They said, we don't know what to do with you. And she decided she was going to take this trip around the world. And she said, can I do this? And they said, yes, you're going to be in a wheelchair, but as long as you're good with that, then go ahead and do it. So her sister saw this whole thing on PBS. The sister that was sick drank. She woke up in the morning, and instead of having tea or, water or anything first thing in the morning, she had a diet. I won't tell you which one. Doesn't really matter. And that's how she started her day out. So her sister called her up, and she said, do you have a can of soda open? She said, yes. She said, I want you to throw it away and never drink another one. Her sister said, it's not possible. She said, if I told you that if you stopped doing the soda, you could possibly do everything else in your life and you could have a life and not die in 3 months, would you be willing to do it then? Her sister said, it'd be worth a try. So she still went around the world. She just gave up her soda. That's all. That's the only thing she changed. She came back and walked into the doctor's office after 3 months. The doctor said, what have you done? She said, I stopped drinking soda. She was drinking 10 sodas a day. Now, you can also, another thing, a gift from sodas, I don't care if you say, it's sugar-free. And that just means that you're just stacking all of those, horrible aspartame and things in your organs somewhere, all right? You're going to put on weight with them. You're going to put on weight. It takes down your nervous system. It takes down your immune system. There is not one benefit that you can tell me about to drinking soda. So you like the way things taste? Put a little juice in your water. Get some really good juice and organic juice and put some juice in your water. Put a vitamin C pack in your water. Put lemon, put lime. Drink tea. There's so many great kinds of tea. If you don't know about yogi tea, find out. I would be willing to say there's 50 different kinds of tea. And they all have a healing component to them. And 99% of them taste really good. So start the tea thing. Start bringing tea bags with you to work. Start turning your friends on to tea bags and just have a tea club where everybody brings in their favorite teas and you share them with each other. You'll find that you will feel so much better, than drinking soda. So please let go of the soda. Make it vanish from your life. And you will become a much stronger, more radiant, vast being. And you know what else? Way less emotional. Okay? The sugar and the caffeine make us crazy. You can do all of the stuff that I'm telling you about the moon centers, and if you're still doing sugar and caffeine, I'm going to tell you, your tendencies to be emotionally unbalanced will be huge. Okay? A little bit of green tea, not a bad idea at all. But a lot of black tea, a lot of sugar, oh my God, you want something sweet? have a piece of fruit. You know, get a package of gluten-free cookies that's really low in sugar and have them. One, you know, have a bite or two of organic chocolate that's really low in sugar. You can have all these things. It's just the amount and the quality. You know, a bar that's organic and has raw sugar or fruit juice sweetened is very different than a Mars bar in what it does to your body. Okay? So choose your sugars wisely, and the other thing is have them around so that all of a sudden you're not going, I just need a sugar fix, I need something sweet right now, and you go to the vending machine. Okay? Or you go run into, you know, a convenience store and you get that whatever they have that you can, you know, take care of that. Usually a sweet craving like that means you're mineral deficient. Okay? So liquid minerals, really, really good thing. Add them to your drink in the morning. And if you don't make yourself a drink in the morning with protein powder and greens and that, start. It's a really, really powerful thing to do. I don't eat breakfast in the morning. I'm not a breakfast person. Don't feel like you have to be a breakfast person. If you're not, they say it's the most important meal of the day. The most important meal of the day is the meal that is really important for you. When I was in London, because my timing was so off, I had, you know, I came to London from Canada, so I was on a different time zone in Canada than I am here, and then I was really in a different time zone in London. I was hungry in the morning because I don't usually eat, but for some reason I was hungry. So I ate a whole bunch of nuts and fruit, and the people with me hardly ate at all. We just had tea. And they said, no, we don't eat till noon, and then we have a really, really big lunch. That's what feels good to us. And I thought, oh, good for you, you know. You're listening to your body. That's so important. It's so important to know when you need to eat. If you need to eat 5 little meals a day or 6, or, you know, 1 big meal, and that's all you eat, no. But you can't know unless you're really listening to your body. And if you're covering it up with sugar and caffeine and sodas, you can't listen to your body because it's going, you know, it's like, what did you do to me? You know, it's continuously trying to recover from what you're doing to it. It can't be telling you what it needs because you've covered it up. All right, on to the next one. What comes after cheeks? Lips. And I must be in my lips because I am talkative to you today, right? All right. Lips. They're wonderful things. They're the soft gates to the beautiful mouth, and you need them. If you didn't have lips, it would be really hard to talk, right? And Yogi Bhajan said something really wonderful and powerful about women. He said, if you remember and you talk about God every 7th word, we talk about some aspect of infinity, or prayer, or meditation, or something that's uplifting and vast. Could you imagine if we talked like that all the time? There'd be no more gossip. Oh my God, we'd lose the like, this person is that. Oh, but I have to tell you about God. I have to tell you about my experience of, you know, my vast experience of infinity. That's what I tell people. If we talk to each other about the miracles in our life, if we said, oh my God, you know, and if I can tell you this right now, I have a huge challenge in my life right now. And it's the most important thing to talk about miracles. You know, the miracle of our breath. The miracle of, oh my God, I saw a hummingbird bathing in my fountain this morning, right? You have no idea the little technical things that we had to overcome to create this today. It's a miracle. I'm here, it's a miracle you're here. It's a miracle that we remember to breathe at all. It's an autonomic response. We don't have to pay any attention to it. But the more attention that you pay to it, the more vast and infinite you become. Because this simple thing called our breath is, you can regulate it with your thought processes, and you can voluntarily make it deep and vast, right? So, talking, these lips, right? They need something. They need to talk. And in this, you become very talkative in the positive. So, it's not a matter that you're not going to be talkative, but it is your choice of what you talk about. How vast is your conversation? Do you talk about how you see that everything that happens is part of the divine plan. It's only up to us to crawl inside of it and to really understand it, as opposed to stand outside and go, bad God, shouldn't have done that. That's bad. It's not right. You shouldn't have done it to this person because I love this person and they shouldn't have had this happen to him. Bad, bad. We talk like that. Maybe a little bit different than that. But basically, we scold God and we tell God all the time, you shouldn't have done this. This isn't good, as opposed to trying to get inside of understanding what is this here for. What aspect of infinity is this to show me so that I really get this? And I'm talking to you very deeply at this moment because I have a huge challenge. And to stay inside of that place, and it doesn't mean you won't be sad, but if we use the power of our word to talk, we can change our frequency about the reality of it. Because reality is truly, can be exchanged at any one moment. What we think of as reality right now is not what we thought about reality 5 minutes ago or 2 days ago. Our perception is huge, and we talk about what we perceive. So this center is, the more vast that your perception becomes, the more juicy and delightful and powerful your conversation becomes. You can start talking with people about what really matters. And you can be present for people when they're going through grief. Just because something happens to you and you're sad about it doesn't mean that you don't understand the infinity and the gift of it. But talking about the infinity and the gift of it helps you to deal with the sorrow of it. All right? The beautiful thing about being able to speak, Yogi Bhajan always used to say to us, uplift people. Speak to uplift them. And if we do that, then you just realize it immediately eliminates the gossip factor. It just goes, gone. Because if you ever notice, there is zero uplifting in gossip. You're not saying one good thing about the person. Now we've got gossip down to a fine science where we go, did you know this about this person? Oh, but they're really a good person. We think that we can cover it with like a little plastic covering of one sentence after we've just, trashed them in some manner. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. This center is meant to be talkative so that when we say things, they're remembered. We somehow don't think that our words are remembered, but I have to tell you, I have people come back 10, 20, 30, 40 years later and tell me things I said that impacted their lives and changed them forever. And at the time, you're just saying what you think needs to be said, or you're speaking to somebody. You have no idea, and you have no idea how your words affect. And your words can take somebody down, it can take their life apart, or it can just uplift them and give them hope and the capacity to make the changes that they need to utilize their gifts, right? So the things that come out of these beautiful lips, that you need the lips to do it, is really super important. So just the fact that you're talkative, we can talk people's ears off. If you ever know, blah, 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 I just talk to you. I was like, oh my goodness. Just somebody was saying that they were on the train in London. They said, this woman talked from the moment she got on the train until she got off. And her partner, her husband, just kept saying, mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. And somehow we just need to notice if the other person isn't speaking, it could be that we're speaking too much. Right? So the thing with the neutral of this is it's that you're communicating. You're using this to communicate, which means that you're getting inside of that being and you're allowing them, you're bringing them forth. Okay? Whether they ever respond back to you, their being is responding to you. And you know that you're inside of them. There's some times where people don't really want to talk back to you. They just need to hear your voice. I have people call up and say, they just call my phone to hear my voice on my answering machine. Well, they don't have to do that anymore because I have all these videos on YouTube. They can go watch them. But they do that just to hear my voice. My voice is nothing to me. But to some people, it's really important because it guides them back into them. It's not really about my voice. It's what my voice does. That my voice is about you, finding you. And that's what these lips are about. Let them really just not let things out that aren't in that category of uplifting. Okay. We have to remember that when we're challenged in this arena, what do? We talk like this. It's like some of those TV things, and the cutty, deal where you're slicing people with your words. Really? Do you not feel good today? Oh, you do? We say things to people like we don't think about it. It's like, oh, look at that dress on her. It is just dreadful. But we don't go up and say, like, I'm going shopping next week. Would you like to come with me? Or I have something I'd love to give you that might look better on her. No, it's the, and we have the capacity to cut. Oh my God, we can slice and dice and cut and, just do it all. So I'd like you to really, when that's happening, there's a really fabulous breath I want you to do. Okay, it's this. You're going to close your teeth on your tongue, and you're going to inhale through the sides of your mouth. So, and exhale through your nose. Well, it's kind of juicy and slurpy. Do it. We're only going to do this 5 times, to do it with me. Two more. Come on. It should calm you down. It should make you feel more vast. And if it doesn't, do it longer, okay? I'm going to give you something else that you can do when you just hear yourself and you're like, oh. A really wonderful thing that someone once told me, they said, don't talk to anyone in a way that you wouldn't like to be talked to. And think of yourself in your most delicate state. And we all get delicate, right? How would you like to be talked to then? And talk to everyone like that, right? Talk to everyone as if they mattered, because they do. Talk to everyone like they're a part of you, because they are. Okay, and mantras are really fabulous. But one that really works with your lips is ma, okay? And, there's tons of them that work with your lips in different ways, but this one is like a real fast fix, and it gets you into that infinite mother capacity, which is really important. It gives you the chance to rebirth. So we're just going to do ma, 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 ma. Okay, we're going to do 2 ways of doing ma, and you're going to get to see what happens. Okay, so I just want you to do this, because what this does is it helps to just balance your pituitary, which is your master gland, and it gets these lips like really moving. Everything gets to move, and you'll find out that it just changes your wanting to really speak badly, because truthfully, we all women are mothers. You may not have physically given birth, but we have that capacity to give people a chance, another chance, a new life. All right, ready? If you do that for 5 minutes, I promise you, you won't have another funky thing to say about anybody, because your mouth will be so alive and your third eye will be so open that you'll see things totally differently. Okay, so here's another one. And all you're going to do is like, it's going to be a long ma, so just... Really want it to vibrate your lips, okay? Vibrators, everybody's into vibrators at this point in time, or so I'm told. But you have your own vibrator right here on your lips, okay? Right? All right. Got it? Do it. Okay. Exhale. So, what about food for this one? Okay. When you're really, really talkative, either you can't eat or you're eating with while you're talking. Okay. The consciousness of you need your lips, right? It's really, I mean, you can use just your teeth on some things, but you really need your lips. And there's a saying, oh my God, from the 60s. Drink your food and eat your juice, right? So it means that when you have fresh juice, you should swish it around in your mouth and you should drink it slowly so that you get all those enzymes in there. So feel the same thing. And with your food is like what they say, chew it 100 times before you swallow it. But this is a really great place, these lips, to pay attention to the juices in your life. We talked about teas and that before, but this is like, you really want the things that will feed you and make you, you know, feel better about yourself so that you speak better about other people. Vegetable juices. I'll tell you what one of my favorites is just double lemon, ginger, and apple. Oh my God, it's so good. You know, but everybody knows celery and cucumber. Really good for the nervous system, really good for cooling you down. Have you ever noticed that when we speak badly about somebody, we have that sharp tongue? We're very hot and agitated, right? So things that cool you down. So the cooling things are like melons are very cooling. Cucumbers are very cooling. Celery is very cooling. So you want to think of things that will cool you down so that you feel more nourished and more loved. So that your communication comes from that connectivity to the heart. So that you can speak. And sometimes it means, you know, your connectivity to the heart means stop. Stop doing that right now. I need you to stop doing that. And that can be very fabulous. You're not cutting somebody up with that. You're just telling them this is really irritating or this is not good for you or whatever it is. It doesn't mean that you're talking like, oh, hi, how are you? You can talk very directly. But sharp tongue means that it's become a fork, or really a knife. They say a forked tongue, but really it means it has two prongs and they're both knives. And they're just, you know, it's like a pitchfork, that kind of a fork. Not a fork that you're going to eat your food with. So, beautiful thing about fruit and vegetable juices is know which ones really work for you. When your liver's really agitated, do some beet and carrot. Now, one thing about beet is somebody told me the other day, oh yeah, let's just do a whole thing of beet juice. Oh my God, never. Beet juice is so concentrated. You only want to add beet to some other kind of juice. You never want to do straight beet juice. You can do beet and apple and ginger. You can do carrot and beet, you know. If you want to get rid of heat in the body, do not add ginger. Ginger creates more heat in the body. So when you're agitated, ginger's not a good thing, because it adds a lot of heat to it. But there's so many other things that I just told you about that create more cooling, more calming, and that's what you want. so that you can speak and you can use these two lips not to sink the ship, right? Remember that old saying, tulips in the garden, tulips in the park, the tulips I love best, or, then you put in somebody's name after dark. But the tulips we really want to love the best is ours, because they have the capacity to create havoc in our ship, called the relationship, that ship of our relations, or they have the capacity to really uplift it and make your ship a very wonderful, smooth-going thing. Okay, exercises. What kind of lip exercises are there, right? Well, it's exercises that allow you, what kind of mantra are you doing while you're exercising? That's really it. I know when I rollerblade around my neighborhood, I do one of the pauris of Japji, which was Guru Nanak wrote when he came out of his liberated state. And it's so wonderful. I'm going around the neighborhood, and then I do Ad Gare Namah, which is a protective chant, and I just do that around myself and around the whole neighborhood. So it's a wonderful time to heal both me and the neighborhood. So remember that when you exercise, the most important thing is the sound current that you're creating while you're doing it. And so many people are so busy, like, they're on their bike and they're watching TV, and we're distracting ourselves as opposed to attracting ourselves. So when you have a mantra, you can play with that, and you can change the focus of your mind with that tra, right? The sound, the trill. What do we say, when we hear a bird? Oh my God, listen to their song. And we love. Who doesn't love music? Oh my God, we love music. We love that which comes to us and, makes us want to sing with it. And we all have different kinds of music that we like. But we love hearing birds sing, and we love when we can sing. And some people think they're tone deaf, and occasionally somebody is, but it's being told at some point in time that you couldn't sing or your voice wasn't right. So this whole beautiful thing is about finding your voice and utilizing that voice properly so that your communion is really sacred with other people as opposed to being insane. Okay? So getting back your sanity is really important. There's one exercise that you can do that's really quite fun. You lie down on your back, okay, and if you can do this, lie down on your back. If you can't, just remember it. And all you do is you kiss. You bring one hand up. You kiss the center of your hand. You have to make it really slurpy and juicy. Really, do that for 3 to 5 minutes. You're kissing the heart center right in the center of your hand. You're using these lips to do something that they want to do, which is kiss, okay? Because there's thousands of nerve endings in them. And you want them to support that which you love. So love yourself, kiss. And there's another one when you're on your back. And what you do is you just bring your leg up and you kiss your knee. And you switch legs, and then you do the other one, right? It's easier for most people when you're lying on your back, but you bring that knee up and you bring your head up and you kiss the knee so that you're bringing heaven and earth together, right? That you know that with these lips, you can create heaven on earth, that you can create that paradise. So bring the tops and the bottoms of your body together, kiss that knee, that floating magical joint in your body that keeps the intentions of the thighs and the stability and standard of your lower part of your leg, and brings it together and supports it and holds all of that, right? Kiss. Become a kisser, become a lover, become the sweetness of what your lips were meant for. And this little forked tongue, know how to park it between the pearly gates of your teeth when it gets out of control, and get back to it. Use these lips to eat the things that they, were meant to eat. Use it for juicy fruit. Use it so that they can be amazing, so that you can be amazing, so that you can be grateful that you have lips, and that you can be truly grateful that these lips were meant to help you speak, but truly to help you communicate. And that what you have to communicate, every 7th to 10th word, is about the infinity of all of nature. You can talk about it, about seeing the infinity. You know, it's so easy to talk about it in a rose, but is it so easy to talk about infinity in destruction? Because it's that aspect of God, generating, organizing, destroying. It's the cycle. We hate the destruction, we love the generation, we're okay with the organization, and it's all God. There's really nothing that we can say that's not God, but it's our intention of how we're speaking. How are we speaking? What are we saying? What are we doing? And is this tongue serving? It's good for French kissing, I know that. But is it really good for forming words that will be left? If you knew that every word you said truly impacted people and would be written for all of eternity, how would you speak? Because they're all filed in your Akashic record. They're all there for the entire universe to see. And you can't take back the ones that are out there, but you can have a future where how you speak is different, and know that you have interrupters. You have things that interrupt where you're going when you start going somewhere that you don't want to be going. Bad neighborhood. Bad neighborhood. Don't let your lips walk there. Okay? Be grateful that you have the capacity to talk, and that communication is really, truly where you want to be. Right? And realize that at any one moment, you can use these things that I just gave you to change it. You know, another really great thing is have water with you. We all carry water around now, right? Just take a really long drink of water and realize that by the time you're finished taking that water, sometimes we get cranky because we haven't had enough to drink. We think we're hungry, but we haven't had enough to drink. Drink a lot of water. Be grateful that we have water still to drink. And realize that use the interrupters when you want to get negative. And we have plenty of chances, right? People do stuff to us all day long and make you feel little and depressed. And when you're in your lips, it's like forked tongue comes out, right? Just say, no, I'm not using this tongue for that. I'm going to meet them in a different place. Because we do not know what that person went through that morning, what they went through in their childhood. We don't know any of this. We don't know what their home life is about. We don't know. And some people you just have to move away from because they're so crippled that they just want to drown you with them. And other people that you work with you cannot move away from, and you just need to understand how to best deal with them, how to keep them at bay, how to bless them, and how to not engage except when absolutely necessary. And this tongue is your forefront. It's your foreman. It's your forewoman, right? It's the forerunner of you. And you want it to be that which knows who and how to deal with them. And that only comes from taking that deep breath and saying, who am I dealing with now? And how can I truly commune with them to the best of my capacity at this moment? I'm not guaranteeing you that every communication is going to be perfect as you're doing this. I'm just guaranteeing you it's going to be a whole lot better because you know how to slow down, take 2 steps back, and look at the situation instead of reacting. Because your tongue is meant to support and work with your beautiful lips to commune. And I will be back for part 3, and we get to move into what? We get to move into something totally fabulous here. Earlobes. So be ready for earlobes. Are you ready for earlobes? Okay. Satnam. Bless you. Thank you.